Good morning, everybody. It's an absolute pleasure to be here in Buenos Aires. It's a joy that I hope we are able to repeat from time to time. This is obviously one of the most beautiful and inviting cities in the entire world. We have a very packed program, so I'm going to try to move relatively quickly, but I have a number of things that I want to share with you this morning. We celebrated ICANN's 15th anniversary last night, and I will say more about that a bit later in the program. But the celebration marks a period of, or a point, if you will, of maturation. And in the spirit of that, we have a number of things that have improved along the way, and we are facing a next series of challenges. And I will say quite a bit more about that, and you will hear much more later. In terms of reaching important milestones, the first new GTLDs were delegated into the route, and with it comes a testament to our community and the process that made it happen. This is not just a success for ICANN and the staff who worked diligently and valiantly and pulled off a major success, but is really a tribute to the entire community that has worked together over a very long period of time. I was going to say 8 years, but I have a feeling that enough time has passed I might be off by one, but as a programmer I'm always off by one. So, a couple of other things that deserve mention as part of noting the this maturing process. After a couple of years of hard work and persistence, the ALAC, the At-Large Advisory Committee, and the entire community that they're part of, has been successful in fostering the creation of the ICANN Academy with the intent and actual success in serving not just ALAC, but all of us, and kicked off the Academy with a intensive training on leadership and also on facilitation. And it was a major success, and that was just in the past couple of days. And I want to congratulate them and acknowledge that that is one of the markers of a maturing organization, is that we can not only sort of take care of the immediate businesses coming in, but we can look ahead, particularly to training the next generation of leaders. Yeah. I've also started an effort that I hope will bear fruit of taking a look at the way we handle technical advice from a whole variety of different channels, and trying to raise the level of attention and coordination of that. We had a kickoff meeting yesterday morning, bringing people together from the different segments, and I'm very hopeful that that will regularize and improve the level of attention, as I say, on technical advice. The next challenges are actually going to focus a whole lot more, even more than we have, on the broader subject of internet governance. And this is a bit of a delicate subject, so I want to try to get this right. In the last couple of months, we've had a very important meeting of the leaders of the internet ecosystem, what's called the iStar community, met in Montevideo, and they've been meeting regularly for the past several years. This is the first time that the leaders issued a statement following the meeting, the so-called Montevideo statement, followed excuse me, in rapid order by an extraordinary announcement and initiative from Brazil, from the President of Brazil herself, and you will hear a great deal more about that. In a few minutes, I am told there will be a formal announcement from the government of Brazil leading to the hosting of a high-level meeting in Brazil next April. And there was, of course, the Internet Governance Forum in Bali just a couple of weeks ago. All of these efforts have involved extraordinary work behind the scenes, and both visible and quite a bit that has not been so visible. And I want to take a moment to recognize some of the leaders who were instrumental in making the IGF happen. It would not have happened without the concerted work of all of these. Adil Ekplogan, the CEO of Afrinic, John Curran, President and CEO of ARIN, Raul Echeverria, CEO of LACNIC, Russ Housley, Chair of the Internet Architecture Board, Axel Pollack, Managing Director of RIPE NCC, Lynn St. Amour, President and CEO of the Internet Society, Marcus Coomer, Vice President for Public Policy, Internet Society, Paul Wilson, CEO of APNIC, and Yari Arko, IETF Chair. If you would all stand up so that we can offer you a round of applause, please do. I have the pleasure of having worked with and known each of these people for different lengths of time, and I consider them individually friends, and I take great appreciation. These are all extremely solid, conscientious, hardworking, and very effective leaders around the world. It's a real source of strength in our community to have leaders like this. So, and of course, all of us share a commitment to the multi-stakeholder model, which sometimes I think we make too much of, and in other times I think we still have quite a bit of work to do to get the word out and make it clear why it's important, how it works. It is, of course, absolutely central to the way the internet was built, and to the way the internet has grown, and to its success, that we have the openness and participation of every segment of the community, and opportunities for entrance from all quarters. That model, the multi-stakeholder model, is under challenge, particularly from some set of governments, and this raises the question of where we go from here. It is not an either-or situation. Governments absolutely have to have a voice in policy formation and in a number of other aspects that governments are particularly appropriate for, but they should not be the only voice. We have to have a more inclusive framework. We have to have the participation from everybody, civil society, academia, business, etc. And if we don't preserve that, and we don't preserve that inclusiveness, then we will redefine, which is a very polite, light word for do enormous damage to the most inclusive communication systems that man has ever devised. The intense activity that we've had over the past 2 months will continue. As we look to the future, it'll be important to know that, speaking from my vantage point as chair of the board of ICANN, that the board is completely informed and supportive of the efforts that Fadi and his team have been carrying out, and that it's been a point not just of casual involvement, but one that we've been very thoughtful about. We passed a resolution at the end of September making it very clear that we wanted Fadi to help build a coalition, and with a certain amount of care, we decided that it was important to keep that resolution quiet for a short period of time, because we wanted the work to be done, and we did not want to make a big issue of it publicly. We did not want to make it look like ICANN was trying hard to get out in front or to take over or to be the leading light. Much more important to attempt as best we could to lead from behind. We passed a further resolution yesterday and also published the prior resolution, making it very clear that we are continuing to be very supportive. We continue to be very pleased with the activities, and I must say that the results in the past 2 months have been absolutely extraordinary, better than any of us would have dared to hope, and it has really changed the course of the dialogue across the world. That said, we are keenly aware that ICANN has a very specific and constrained mission, and we are sticking to that. And at the end of the day, what we want to emerge is a framework of internet governance, an environment in which that takes place in an appropriate way that involves all of the stakeholders. We don't know exactly what that's going to be, but we do know that where we want ICANN to be is a comfortable member within that community, not the whole of it for sure, but just a small, comfortable part of the ecosystems. So FADI's efforts to join with other internet organizations to form a coalition that will review the issue of cooperations moving forward has indeed been remarkable. And as I said, there will be an announcement very shortly, I'm told, that there will be a high-level meeting in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, I believe, set for April, and the details will start to emerge very shortly. I need to complete my thoughts lest you all start listening to the news to see it come out. So with that, excuse me, let me end these initial remarks and let's move on with some very impressive set of speakers and activities. We will start with, excuse me here, we'll start with Dr. Juan Manuel Abel Medina, and I would like to welcome him to the stage. Please come on up. It's my pleasure to introduce him. My pleasure to introduce him. He's the chief of the Cabinet of Ministers of Argentina and has held that position for the past 2 years. In 2011, President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner appointed him as Communication Secretary. He is an academic, a political scientist, and an author. He served his many years of government experience speak to a strong desire to serve the Argentinian people. Dr. Medina, welcome. Thank you.
Señor Presidente de la Junta Directiva de ICANN, Dr. Stephen Crocker, Señor Vicepresidente y CEO de ICANN, Fadji Jade, miembros de la Junta Directiva, delegados de la comunidad ICANN, les doy a todos y a todas la bienvenida a la Argentina. Es un enorme orgullo ser anfitriones de la reunión número 48 de la ICANN y poder, así, no solo ser parte activa y fundamental de este encuentro, sino también tener la posibilidad de mostrar a la comunidad ICANN y al mundo los enormes avances en materia de tecnologías de la información y la comunicación que se vienen dando en nuestro país. Quisiera empezar por hacer una breve recorrida por aquellas políticas públicas que hemos implementado desde el año 2003 hasta el día de hoy en este campo y que dan cuenta de la enorme inversión realizada en la infraestructura de conectividad y políticas de universalización del acceso a Internet para el conjunto de nuestra población. Mediante una inversión pública de más de 8.000 millones de pesos, el Plan Nacional de Telecomunicaciones Argentina Conectada tiene como finalidad expandir el servicio de banda ancha y TV digital a lo largo de todo el país. El objetivo del programa es la democratización del acceso a la información comunicacional y tecnología digital. A través de la red federal de fibra óptica se prevé la construcción de fibra óptica en lugares donde aún no ha llegado, a través de un tendido de más de 80.000 kilómetros de infraestructura de fibra óptica. Argentina Conectada es una apuesta del Estado Nacional fundamental para afianzar el camino a la inclusión social a través de la federalización de los servicios de comunicaciones. Esta política pública no solo tiene alcance en materia de despliegue de infraestructura en todo el territorio nacional, sino que también repercute en otros ámbitos, tales como el desarrollo tecnológico, cultural y productivo de las comunidades, en los aumentos en los niveles de competitividad, en mejores condiciones de comunicación para la vinculación ciudadana y la gestión gubernamental, en la generación de empleos y en la democratización del acceso al conocimiento y al entretenimiento. En este sentido, el crecimiento del número total de usuarios de Internet ha sido realmente significativo en los últimos 10 años. Hemos pasado de contar con 3,7 millones de usuarios en el año 2001 a tener en la actualidad 31 millones de usuarios. Esto significa que la penetración de Internet en nuestro país es del 75%, posicionándonos así en el primer lugar de la región latinoamericana y caribeña y muy por encima del promedio mundial en el uso de la red. Valen también mencionar algunos datos muy significativos del sector del software y servicios informáticos. En el año 2003, la cantidad de empleos del sector era de 19.000. Este año el sector empleó a más de 77.000 personas, consolidándose así un incremento de arriba del 400%. Debemos también mencionar que tenemos un déficit en recursos humanos capacitados y esto es un problema global, bien lo saben ustedes. Debemos diseñar, y estamos trabajando en ello, políticas públicas que nos ayuden a superar este obstáculo en las proyecciones de crecimiento. Continuando con datos del sector, en el año 2003 las ventas del sector del software alcanzaban los 830 millones de dólares, llegando este mismo indicador este año a 3.600 millones de dólares. Los ingresos desde el exterior del sector serán para este año de 970 millones de dólares, habiendo gozado entonces de un incremento del 570% en los últimos 10 años. Estos datos revelan que nuestro país es uno de los tantos protagonistas de la revolución digital de nuestros tiempos. Es por esto que nos complace recibir a la ICANN en nuestra casa y reafirmar el compromiso de la Argentina con la construcción colectiva de la gobernanza de Internet. Si bien son diversos los actores, que ustedes lo saben, que deben cumplir el rol de institucionalización de determinados principios, los Estados nacionales no podemos dejar ese espacio vacío, ya que es nuestra responsabilidad velar por la seguridad de nuestros ciudadanos, la libertad de expresión y la neutralidad de la red. En este sentido, quiero poner en conocimiento de todos los presentes que el Congreso de la Nación ha incorporado pocos días atrás al Código Penal la figura del acoso sexual por Internet a menores de edad. Este delito fue equiparado al de abuso sexual. Entendemos esto como un paso adelante en la garantía de seguridad para que nuestros chicos puedan navegar y beneficiarse en las redes de conocimiento, intercambio, esparcimiento y aprendizaje, minimizando los riesgos. Por último, quiero compartir con ustedes el hecho de que se han iniciado activamente las pruebas para ser compatibles con IPv6 nativas en Argentina y han resultado exitosas. Esto representa un gran avance para nosotros. En los últimos tiempos también se creó una dirección nacional a cargo del NIC Argentina, en la órbita de la Presidencia de la Nación, jerarquizando así el área. La modernización de los sistemas busca aumentar la seguridad jurídica de los usuarios, disminuir la ciberocupación, que representa uno de los peores problemas en nuestro registro, potenciar nuestra ya profunda actividad en las redes sociales y la presencia en los eventos internacionales de mayor importancia, obviamente como este. Es mi deseo y el de todo el gobierno argentino que las jornadas de trabajo que nos esperan en los próximos días sean fructíferas y constituyan un paso adelante más en la consolidación de una Internet segura, abierta y de acceso universal. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much, Juan Manuel Abel Medina. And let me congratulate you on the major advances in web safety and the investment in the infrastructure, particularly IPv6, and the tremendous growth overall of the internet in Argentina. 75% is a very striking number. I think that puts you way up on the curve compared to other countries. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Gustav Hustic, the man who's responsible for us being here in Buenos Aires. Please come on up. Dr. Hustic is National Director of NIC Argentina. Please join me in welcoming him to ICANN 48. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Bueno, muy buenos días a todos. Le agradezco muchísimo la presencia al doctor Abal Medina, que la verdad que tiene muchas ocupaciones en el gobierno y se hizo tiempo para venir y compartir un poco la experiencia argentina con ustedes. Solo quiero agradecer a ICANN y a los demás que componen esta gran familia de Internet, que hayan elegido Argentina para desarrollar estas jornadas que realmente para nosotros son muy importantes, nos llenan de orgullo. Creo que enaltece también el rol no solo de Argentina, sino de toda la comunidad de Latinoamérica y Caribe. Estamos trabajando muy arduamente con la gente de la CNIC, con la CTLD, para fortalecer la imagen, especialmente de toda Latinoamérica y Caribe. Es importante destacar en este aspecto que el crecimiento del Internet y el crecimiento de todas las cuestiones asociadas a Internet en nuestra región realmente se ha desarrollado mucho en estos años y tiene un crecimiento que merece la mirada de todos ustedes hacia este sector. Me gustó lo que dijo Steve hace un momento, que le gustaría volver a Buenos Aires para hacer otro ICANN, así que bueno, le voy a tomar la palabra y que lo hagan de nuevo todos los años, que nosotros vamos a estar muy felices de hacerlo. Quiero agradecer especialmente a quienes se encargan de la organización de ICANN. Hay toda una parte que ni yo ni ustedes a lo mejor ven, que es el trabajo previo que se efectúa a estas reuniones para que todo salga perfecto como está saliendo. Hay un equipo extraordinario de gente con el que tuve el honor y el placer de trabajar desde hace unos cuantos días y hasta la fecha. No voy a mencionar a todos, pero Nick Tomaso, Nancy Lupiano, Melanie, realmente es un equipo de gente extraordinario con el que ha sido un placer trabajar todos los días. Para ellos sí les pido un fuerte aplauso porque realmente se lo merecen. Y por último, bueno, le quiero agradecer especialmente a ustedes, porque en realidad en estos encuentros la particularidad que existe es que los importantes son ustedes y no quien ahora les está hablando. Así que bienvenidos a Buenos Aires, espero que disfruten y muchas gracias.